and you're listening to Indy Sports Podcast. And or what is that? Is that what it's called? Is that
That's
right?
that's perfect.
Or did I say something wrong?
No, trust me, man. I mean, I can edit all this. It's no
What
problem.
is
You
it?
can
What is it again? Indy Sports Podcast or what?
the
The Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Not Indy Sports Cars Podcast.
nice. Yeah. If you want to try it again, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Pato Award, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Hey, this is Will Power, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
This is Oliver Askew, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Yep. All right.
Welcome, ICB fans, to another episode of the Indy Sports Car Podcast. Hey, Missy.
Hello, hello.
What's up, Jay to the DePal?
What's up?
How are you?
Good. I'm still coming off the Texas high.
Yeah, so am I. I'm about to go off on a Texas style hoedown of how much I hate Eddie Gossage.
Yeah, it's my overall consensus, and we'll just dive right into it because
Oh, yeah, let's just dive right into how this guy's a what? Chip?
Piece of garbage.
There we
Perfect.
go. Yep.
That's what we call in the business chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, the race itself, I feel like 9 months off kind of built it up and made it seem better than it was. But this has the makings of a new Phoenix on our hands. It really felt like this could be the new Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because a 2-lane track where you could
We-
legitimately run 2 wide for laps all the way around. You can't do that anymore.
No, not anymore. Not since that big black sheet of ice they laid down in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 for grip. So
Yeah,
every
well,
car that hits it can spin out,
For
something.
grip for some people. Some people got grip, and then apparently they did nothing about it afterwards when they didn't need it anymore. Instead of finding a way to remove it and try to get the track at least back to normal to where IndyCar rubber would build in over it and grip up. No, they just said, we'll just leave it here because we need it again at some point. It's very short-sighted. I do blame Eddie Gossage for this. It's
100% his fault.
it's cheapness, flat out.
He didn't even pay for this race, right?
Yeah, he from everything I've understood, his sanctioning fee was like $0. I'm pretty sure IndyCar ate just about this entire cost. But the only money that they got for this at any point would have been the TV money. And any like the Genesis sponsorship and stuff, which I'm sure they got a little, probably got some sort of discount. But yeah, Eddie Gossage got a sweetheart deal, and he did nothing to help it.
He has been complaining and begging and pleading for this kind of a deal, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, ever since Circuit of the
Saying
Americas
he
came through.
deserves it. I seem to remember that being a quote, that he deserves some type of a discount for
He
being
does.
one of those tracks to hang in there with Indy when no one else could.
I believe
he's
he does
good.
deserve
Right.
a discount. As far as I know, short of Long Beach, which didn't happen this year and now lost the streak, it is the second longest active IndyCar track. It goes back to the 90s every year. Since the track opened, IndyCar has been there and continues to be there. And so, as such, Eddie does deserve a discount for his decades of service to IndyCar. And the sport has put on a good show at that track relatively consistency from the days of pack racing, which I don't want to see anymore, to even this race wasn't that bad. It's certainly no Phoenix, but it's getting there, and it will if this kind of stuff continues.
Wasn't bad at all. I
No.
mean,
It wasn't bad.
exciting.
It wasn't a bad race. It wasn't the best race I've seen at Texas, but it certainly wasn't the worst possible race it could have been. It could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen worse, but like Phoenix, yeah, like you're saying, it reminded me like I was watching Phoenix because it was a parade.
Yeah,
it was a parade because nobody could pass, and whenever they even attempted it to, they ended up in the wall.
And honestly, who I have to blame for my realization that this is becoming the new Phoenix? Blame Will Power. Where there was that stint where he was the last car in the lead lap, and Dixon was leading the race, and Power did everything he could, and it wasn't that hard to keep Dixon behind him. As fast as Dixon was that entire race, he never did lap Will Power. Not on that stint. And right there, Will proved to me that this has the makings of being the new Phoenix, because you can drive it, be the slower car, and drive for just about an entire stint and not get lapped by the much faster leader.
I will still never understand that one Phoenix race, how Simon Pagenaud won that race by being a lap ahead of everybody because that yellow. When Will was leading, I still, to this day, I still don't understand it. I still don't get it.
It showed what Phoenix really became after it got repaved. Even if you took the dog leg out of it, like NASCAR, how they just go way down. I mean, the Indy cars can't really handle that, but even then, you still wouldn't make that track competitive. I don't know what you can do. I don't know what they could do to Phoenix. All the money they poured into that track, and I was there that very last year when they were doing the demolition and working on it.
IndyCar never got to race the new Phoenix setup. Phoenix poured all this money.
You mean where they put the start finish line on the back stretch? That's not gonna change the fact that you can't pass there. That it's a one-lane track. Just because they put the start finish line on the back stretch did not change that fact one bit.
Yeah, but it does change. It does change like the aspect.
It changes restarts, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Changes the start and restarts, absolutely. But once you get past that first lap, you got nothing.
But it also changes fighting for position on the last lap, because you have an entire front straightaway, and to go into 1-2, whatever you want to call that turn.
So,
you know what I mean? And then hit the dog leg for the start finish line.
Yeah, so perfect for NASCAR. Great for NASCAR. They love their restarts and last lap bull sugar.
I'm just saying.
I gotta get that soundbite.
Bull sugar, yeah, I know, right? But my point being is Missy, just jump in here. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you.
No. I mean, I was disappointed in the Texas race. I mean, I don't know. I guess because it was the opener, I thought it would be better, and it kind of just wasn't.
It was boring.
Yeah, I guess.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Right, because there's been more exciting Texas races in the past.
Yeah, I mean, because it was a
two-lane. Could the new arrow screen have a little bit to do with that? I mean, it could have changed the dynamics. Maybe.
Oh, it definitely changed the dynamics, but that's on the teams and the engineers to get the cars right, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But.
Oh, I mean, I was fine. It just wasn't. I don't know. I mean, although there was, quite a few guys that I think, kudos to quite a few. I mean, you had Zach Veach that finished fourth, I think, and then you had Connor Daly. Ollie finished top 10. I mean,
Heck yeah. IndyCar debut, top 10s it, man.
Well, you also
Yeah.
had the
Yes.
converse of that. Guys like Renus VK, who, let's face it, he did
Mm.
probably had about as poor a week, a single day you can have in IndyCar
Yeah.
as a rookie.
I like Renus a lot.
I
do.
love him.
I-
I
I've
know
been
he's got
following-
talent. He just
L-
doesn't have a
listen,
whole lot of oval
Look,
experience.
like, yeah, I mean, like, as far as drivers that we know personally from the pet being in the paddock so much, I mean, I remember, was it when I went to St. Pete with Mike from Pit Lane Parlay, right? And I wasn't with Mike at the time, but I think we were watching. Oh, we were watching IndyCar qualifying, and I was with Renus and his family. Like, I mean, that's how tight we are. Like, I probably, it's like I see Renus. We talk to him for a while. Bobo we pal around with. I mean, the list goes on, but I mean, like, so it's not like just I know Renus from RTI because we give that series a lot of love, or Series Z's, or or oh, shut up, Siri, not you, shut up.
Anyway, but
Not my
I
phone.
think though too. I guess we have to have the talk about Indy Lights, because I like with ovals like this. I don't think that it prepares them enough.
No, and not for
I
nothing,
mean,
Indy Lights could have
it's
been
just it was rookie. I mean, I guess they were rookie mistakes. I mean, Ryan. I mean, he had it in, was it qualifying or a practice? Was it practice? He
Yeah,
there. He
Ryan.
jumped what, twice,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I mean, him and Ed Carpenter, I think in practice did it. Right? Were they both in practice, or was one in qualifying? It doesn't matter. They both wrecked their car before the race started. So, I mean, he started off that way, and then he, contacted with the wall, and then poor Alex Palou, just a bystander, in his first race, and he just,
Yeah.
Renus takes him out. I mean, not intentionally, but it was just, I felt bad for him because I was like, ah,
It's Alex Palau, right? Or is it
Palou,
it's
Palau,
Palau?
Palou.
Yeah.
Well, until he's on the show and he can correct me, I'll
Mr.
say it how
Palau.
I feel
He's
like it.
his name. His name again is Mr. Palau.
It
But
just honestly looked like Renus didn't know. It seemed like he wasn't prepared. He didn't really get Texas, but I have a feeling because he's been pretty with the sim racing, but nothing you do at Texas is going to prepare you for that adhesive stuff and when you get offline and when you're on that sim and learning the different lines, because you need to know all the different lines on that track, and when you to be forced into only one line, it can be hard. I don't I don't fault him entirely for it, but I do believe that he was caught flat-footed. He may have bitten off a little more than he chewed, and it's not really his fault. Nobody expected Texas to be the season opener.
Right, yeah. I mean, at this point, we should have already done Indy. You should have had plenty of practice
Should
on
have
Indy.
all sorts of
Imagine-
road courses in Indy.
Right. I mean, even for the rookies are inexperienced with the ovals, but even at least being able to practice at Indy the amount of time, and they would get extra practice because they're rookies, right?
Yeah, they got 80 minutes, 1 hour,
Right,
20 minutes of
so-
practice, and then had to go out and qualify, and
So
then
at least
race.
you would get some sort of practice on an oval to kind of get, I mean, it's not the exact same oval, but at least it's something. But yeah, it's just, I like Renus, but yeah, I don't, he didn't show very well. But again, I think it's because this whole season has just been a, freaking disaster with the whole, COVID. So it's like, I don't think they've gotten
He's had zero amount of practice.
Well, right, and no matter any way you slice or dice it, the sim racing is not real racing, and it's not going to prepare you entirely for the real thing. So
Yeah, and
it only goes so far.
And when did they do a race at Texas again in iRacing? Never.
Yeah.
But again, I think it goes back to two with Indy Lights because they do, the Indianapolis, they do Indianapolis and then what other Gateway? They still doing Gateway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did.
Yeah,
they
Gateway,
still do-
Indy, and Texas are the only in Iowa are the 4 ovals.
Yeah, and look, Iowa, I think is a great track for IndyCar. Gateway, definitely. Tracks like that. Motegi, we need to go back to.
But I guess if this was a regular season, though, I think they would get more practice at Indianapolis as, one of the first ovals and then they would be okay with Texas and, Gateway afterwards and Iowa because at least they've gotten, I don't know, I guess at least they've gotten experience on a oval instead of just coming in, here's Texas, and there you go. You're on your own.
They would have had a month of IMS, practice,
Right.
qualify, and a race to get themselves prepared for Texas to begin with if it was,
Right.
But unfortunately, that's not how it was. And, I mean, okay, so how many people were shunted by the black stuff on a track that didn't need to be there at all?
I felt like almost every incident involved someone going offline, running high, and running into the wall.
Yeah,
I feel like that was 90, just about every incident.
You cannot go that fast and stay on the low line the entire stint.
Especially on tires that you can only do 35 laps on. Half of them aren't meant for that track. But on a side note, I could have actually made money. I tried doing a little gambling here on the race. Went to a little online site that is pretty popular with sports gambling, who offers a sports book, and I found the race, and they had odds, and I was with the great Gino Bisconti, who is joining us here on the show while watching, but he is we were gonna bet on Simon Pagenaud to podium and Hinchcliffe to podium. Well, the Hinchcliffe one wouldn't have paid out anything, but Simon on the podium would have paid out. We would have put $50 on there and would have won 145. But yeah, hey buddy, we're hanging out. And yeah, so there it was. Could have been some money to have been made there in Texas, betting on those Penske boys. But
got a Penske boys, yeah, 2-3, right? P2,
Yeah.
P3.
I got a question.
uh-huh.
Now, they were supposed to run no more than 35 laps on a set of tires.
By
correct?
penalty, and one car was actually penalized for not obeying that limit. And I believe it was Graham Rahal, like right by his last pit stop.
There's a shocker.
But see, how many pit stops, though, would you have needed for a 200-mile race or a 200-lap race? You had to 35.
Yeah, it was a 35-lap limit, but
set of tires.
It's a 3-stop race.
No.
4-stop.
Okay,
No,
well,
if you could only go 35 laps on a set of tires.
35, 70, 140.
5 pit stops is 175. This was a 200-lap race.
Well, okay, let's see here. By comparison, last year's race was 248 laps, all done in 3 stops.
Yeah.
The leader, Joseph Newgarden, was who won the race, had 4 stops, but he pitted under caution his 3rd stop. Rossi finished 2nd, Rahal 3rd, Ferrucci 4th. All 3 of them only did 3 stops in 248 laps.
But there wasn't a tire limit.
Right. So then you go back this year, pit stop summary. The leader had the top 5, 6 cars all had 5 pit stops. Only one of them under caution on 200 laps. So, I mean, and you saw how bad the tires got after the 35 laps. That's the effect of old tires and half the tires that aren't even made for the track. You noticed
So-
it. Half of the tires had white Firestone lettering on the side, and the other half was red from Indy.
So why weren't more people penalized for?
One.
Because that
So,
math doesn't add up to me.
well, I mean,
Do
35.
laps
So,
cautions,
but you have to
count?
add in like when you started on a set. So you have 6 sets of tires. 6 times 35 is 220, or 200, something like that. It's over 200.
Yeah, I think it's like 210.
Yeah. So 200. Either way, yeah, it's more. So it made sense, but still, I mean, that's a lot less use of the tire. Because I believe last year it was fuel was the only real difference between the 3 stops. Like the tires, yeah, they wore out, and the notice was pretty significant, but you actually used fuel. So, I mean, you'd basically just set up your car to run full power, full rich, as fast as you can go, and clearly Scott Dixon figured things out.
Yep.
Let's see.
I mean, it was just. I don't know. It didn't.
See, no.
What? What?
Got. I'm gonna go back to this. I think more people should have been penalized, but 35 laps. You're not allowed to do more than 35 laps on a set of tires.
Correct.
So.
And Graham
Scott
Ray
Dixon
Hall got one.
Stops. So Scott Dixon pit stops. First stop was at lap 35, right?
Uh-huh.
Second stop was lap 80.
Oh, well, they didn't count caution laps.
Oh, they didn't count.
Yeah, it was
caution
only
laps?
it was 35 green flag laps.
Okay, never mind. Then that makes sense then.
Right, but still, like Graham Rahal was penalized for lap 171. He exceeded the tire limits. You know what his penalty was? Stop and go, which is actually a pretty significant penalty over just a drive-through. Yeah, stop and go penalty for exceeding the tire limit.
On a super speedway, yeah.
Yeah, on a super speedway, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
that's
don't know,
awful.
that tire blows, it's gonna turn into the Ford Explorer all over again.
The what?
You don't remember when like the Firestone tires were blowing out on like Ford Explorers and stuff like 10, 15 years ago?
No.
Wow.
Yes.
Apparently I'm
Okay.
old.
Well, yeah.
I tried.
Was that?
Cut that part out.
Oh, hearing that go. What's going on here?
It's only you.
There we go.
Stop touching buttons.
No, I'm trying to get to the screen here, so I can at least see.
So how many caution laps were there? There was a total of
24 caution laps.
4 caution laps. Okay. So what do we say? So you had 35, and there was 24 caution laps.
Yeah. Well, how about Honda
We
and
go for
starting
one
that
time.
race?
Okay.
How about
Well, that makes
Honda
sense
though?
then.
Starting that race, 3 cars, 3 Hondas, all with ECU engine issues. Graham Rahal started from behind the wall, which if you actually see the video of it was hilarious because like Rocket, like the head of tech, was standing right there. He always stands at that where your cars come onto pit lane just in case. And when Graham like peeled out from between the wall there, if you've ever stood at that entrance where the cars come onto pit lane, imagine a car there just peeling out and taking off. Oh, I can guarantee he was cursing up a storm on the radio because they actually gave Graham a stop and go penalty at the start of the race versus Ryan Hunter-Reay and Alexander Rossi, who had the same kind of issue, but I'm guessing not as bad. They had to do whatever to the car on pit lane and only got a drive-through penalty, whereas Graham had to stop and go.
Yeah, stop and go is a.
On a super speedway, on any oval, it's a killer.
Yeah.
The drive-through's bad enough, but the stop and go, woo.
That's a killer. I mean, I think F1, needs to do more of that and less of the whole post-race penalty seconds crap.
Yeah.
So
Penalizing time after
yeah.
the fact is stupid.
Well, because they have two different options, right? They can either add time or they can do something else after the race, I think.
Have they ever heard of a drive-through penalty in F1?
Yeah, but can't they either add seconds to the race?
That's a stupid option. You make them drive through the pit lane.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're in effect, you're just in effect, turning race control into too powerful of an entity of an outcome of a race.
Yeah, well, race control is like the referees. Do you think? Yeah, the referees have a lot of power. I know, I am one. We have a lot of power out there. But if you're respectful and you follow the rules and the spirit and intent of the rules, you do it right, you'd become a non-factor. You're there. People know you're there. They know what you do, but you're not the outcome. You don't want to be the outcome. You don't want that guy to throw that deep pass and hold on to the receiver. You don't want to see that. You want the players to play. You want the drivers to drive. Race control doesn't want to insert itself into the equation. It does when it has to. And it shows its muscle when it needs to. That's why there's the stewardship panel is multiple people. It's not one person has all this authority. They've figured out that should be a committee. 3, 5, however many people in a room watching it over from every possible angle, monitoring the telemetry of the cars, everything, and then making an informed decision. It's the best way they can possibly do it, in my opinion. I'd kill to be a fly in the wall of race control.
One person. It's like, what, 2, 3, I think?
3.
Only 3?
3.
Yeah, but it's not the same 3 every race in F1. Doesn't it rotate?
I think it's some weird thing in F1. I know it's not the same people all season long, because why would you do that?
I'm pretty sure there's 2 of the same people throughout the year, and then a guest. Like every race, there's a 3rd guy added every race, and he's different, I think, or I don't know. Maybe it used to be like that at one point, but I mean, the races have been so generic that race control hasn't been an issue in about a decade, because they have to be racing.
Right. You actually have to be competitive to have cars that create controversy.
I mean, and Nico Rosberg won a championship on the lack of race control to do anything at all, apparently. Like, I mean, he tested the limits and pushed and pushed and pushed and realized, well, I can get away with anything. I can take my teammate totally out, use him as a turn, and still win. So whatever.
Anyway, so Texas race. So Scott Dixon won. So, and he's getting closer to who's got the most. I know this. God dang it! Help me out here.
AJ Foyt
wins. That's it. AJ Foyt. Yeah. Right, most wins.
Yep.
60. 62.
Oh, where to put my media guide? It's on here. Here we go. Record books in here. Yeah, I love this. This is so nice. This PDF media guide. Race win records. All-time race wins. In fact, we shall. I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna window capture me. This right here. Boom.
Hey, Gino, what's up, Gam? Hey, Josh, what's up, buddy?
Yep, all-time wins. Number 1, AJ Foyt.
It's backwards
it's upside
for us.
down. Oh, it's backwards for us. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is it backwards for everybody,
It,
or no?
I would assume
No,
it's not backwards for everybody because
no,
I'm looking at it on
No,
my phone and it's
67 There we
normal.
go. I can see it backwards. He's
yeah,
got
no.
67
Yeah,
wins.
six
Scott
seven
Well,
wins for
Ford.
AJ Foyt. Number
if,
2, Mario Andretti with
So it
52,
is.
and
Yeah.
now Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
This
wow,
has
10
been
wins. Thanks,
updated
Scott.
for
Really
his
appreciate it.
most recent win, but
So yeah, so
at 47.
congratulations, Scott Dixon again. And then you had Simon Pagino and Joseph Newgarden to round out the podium. And we said Zach Veach, Ed Carpenter, Connor Daly, Colton Herta, Ryan Hunter Ray,
Wait, who? What was before? Who?
Colton Herta, Ryan Hunter Ray, sure. Oliver Askew, and Tony Kanaan rounded out your top 10.
TK, top 10, baby.
Then you had Charlie Kimball, Pato O'Ward, Will
Hey.
Power, Marco Andretti, Alexander Rossi, Jack Harvey, Graham Rahal, James Hinchcliffe, Marcus Erickson, Felix Rosenquist, Santino Ferrucci, Ryan SVK, Alex Palo, and Takuma Sato.
Takuma Sato did not actually start, sadly.
Yeah, what happened to his car?
He crashed in qualifying on his warm-up lap.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and sadly the team was unable to repair the car in time.
Yeah, I was too busy working. That's right.
Yeah, some people wait 9 months for the race and then take 2 side jobs on the day of the race.
For my landlord's son. So what would you do?
Tell him you waited 9 months for the race. Can I only do 1 side job today?
Dude, it just got hot here and everybody's turning their ACs on. I'm an electrician. Kind of happens. Sorry, it's not my fault. It should. To my defense, it shouldn't have been the first race of the season. Okay. And I don't mind missing a Texas qualifying. Because I've had my problems with Eddie Gossett.
It wasn't Texas qualifying you missed. It was a race. You missed 150 of 200 laps.
No.
Yes. Frank, I was here on Hot Mic, and Greg was here. He was watching. He can attest. It was like lap 150 something.
What
that
do you
Frank
want me to
showed.
tell you, eh? Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, it's a good thing that I am well equipped for this sort of situation. I know what I'm doing.
Isn't it nice to have a 9 to 5?
I am actually most disappointed though about Live PD because I love doing Hot Mic for Live PD because that's just fun. Just sitting there watching Live PD talking to people, just making fun of people, and
right.
It was fun while it lasted, and I am heartbroken. But I did hear though that also that in response to increased people not liking the police, that McGruff, the crime dog, was euthanized today.
What?
Nothing. Keep going.
I needed the car crash audio for that one.
Oh my god.
You've never heard of Scruff McGruff, the crime dog?
Of course I have.
He was he was put down today.
I didn't even have it. God, I should have had it.
I'll wait. You deserve it.
Yep. I'll get it downloaded. Don't you worry.
You know why? Because you're a
piece of garbage.
Thank you.
Now this one starts up. No, it's bad.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it. I can't like just do it with the button, but there we go. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I'll just leave that pulled up.
And we'll get the sound effects soon. But
Well, I mean, I finally got my iPad back, so well, not my. I got a iPad again, so I almost have one. Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, it was an alright race. It wasn't.
Well, I mean, Scott. So I mean,
anything to run home about. I mean,
Yeah,
Is
it
there
was.
enough races in this year's season for Scott to take the overall lead of wins for
I
career?
mean, if he won every single
no.
race, he's still 20 behind. I mean, he could if he had a monster
Uh,
season. He's 5 behind Mario right now, and Mario is 15 behind AJ. So he has 0% chance of doing it this year. But he'd have to win another 5 races. He'd have to win almost half of the races this year just to tie Mario. But Scott's not going anywhere. You'll know when he's past his prime when he leaves Ganassi. When he leaves Ganassi, then you know that the win count will decrease.
Do you think Ganassi
He should just
would ever?
retire.
Yeah, do you think
That happened.
Ganassi would ever get rid of him before his prime is over?
No, no, no. And that, like I said, that's the exact point that you'll know when Scott's prime is over because he will no longer be at Ganassi.
Well, not for nothing, but I mean, he's got a great pro. I mean, I love the competitiveness between Felix and Scott. All season, we saw it last year. You know, Felix came in and was like, "I might be a rookie on paper, but nah, son."
Yeah, it's great to see that kind of rivalry within a team because
Exactly.
it makes the whole team better because now it's not just, hey, we're competing against everyone else out here. I'm competing against my buddy who's like his toolbox is 10 feet from mine back at the shop. And we go have beers all the time. It's like my best bud here, but him and I are now in this competition that's fueled by the drivers. And I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, but sometimes I think he gets a little overzealous and he makes
Well,
mistakes.
he does. He's a young kid.
Yeah,
All these young kids get a little overzealous, and I see it a lot in Zach Beach. Like he's kind of a little antsy. He kind of reacts and kind of like when someone pressures him, he kind of makes a little more prone to make a mistake. It's a youth kind of thing that when you get the experience of Scott Dixon, who like just nothing phases him.
Mm.
You could like pull up behind him with like a cop car on the racetrack, and he'd just be like, whatever, keep going.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, no, Penske would not. If Penske wanted Scott Dixon, he would have had him by now. But I don't. Scott's loyal. Scott is an incredibly loyal person, and he's loyal to Chip because that's where he started. Chip bought into Scott back when he was coming out of lights, and he was this young, up and coming, frosted tipped haired little kid who everybody was raving about. And Chip saw that and was like, ching ching, lock this guy in, show him my loyalty. And Scott is a loyal guy and has kept that. And I'm sure Scott has a little gentleman's agreement with Chip to where at some point he will recognize that he's getting past his prime and he's ready for that paycheck, the real paycheck that he could never get with Chip. When he's ready for that real paycheck, then he'll go sign with another team and you'll know that his prime is past. But I don't foresee him ever leaving the sport until at the very least his newborn son turns 18.
I said the same thing about Castroneves.
Right, and Scott has also shown, like as part of the news today, that he is joining on with the iRacing Le Mans this weekend.
No, but my point being is Castroneves, you know,
Went to sports cars. He's semi.
he wasn't out of his prime though.
Oh yes, he was. Elio's been out of his prime for
He
years.
won Iowa. I mean, he won 2 races that season.
Yeah.
His last
but
season, he wins 2 races and he's out of his prime. So get out of here, go over to
But
IMSA.
no,
And
They did the
die.
same.
but
They
the
did-
races before that he won. I mean, Scott Dixon's winning what 2, 3 a year.
Yeah.
At the least.
Yeah,
Well,
Elio went years without a win.
yeah, I mean, it's
And,
I like
so is
Elliott
Ryan
too.
Hunter-Ray. He's still there.
Yeah, Ryan Hunter-Ray, but Hunter-Ray won last year. He won Detroit. He
deal.
started the tradition of jumping in the fountain.
Yeah,
So-
but it's Detroit. Who cares? It's Belle
Yeah,
Isle.
yeah.
Big deal.
Hey, don't tell me that.
Oh, calm down.
That's my home.
When's the-
That's my home turf right there. I love Belle Isle.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it's
roads are
Detroit.
crappy. It's a Michigan public road. I gotta drive on it every single day. We're not smart when it comes to engineering roads. I've never seen so many public roads where the big manholes, like the manhole covers, are literally in the tire line. Where you drive and your tires go is where they put all of the manhole covers on Michigan roads. And then they wonder why the roads go bad so fast. I wonder why. Freezing and thawing constantly over manhole covers as we just drive over it nonstop. I don't foresee how that would cause issues.
Same thing here, man.
But
Well,
yeah, it's...
Well, here you can tell when you cross into a different county.
Oh yeah,
There's
you can tell that here too. You can cross in another city, little town. It's like, oh hey,
all smooth and then
this road has actually been maintained in the last 10 years. Fancy that.
Exactly. Well, fancy
But
that.
yeah, I mean, Scott has embraced the sports cars. I think the key is embracing the sports cars before you're relegated to sports cars. Because let's face it, just about every driver from open wheels and stuff, when they get done with their open wheel career, what falls back on the relative easiness of sports car racing. Especially when you have teams that need professional drivers and are willing to pay for professional drivers. So, I mean, it's better to embrace it before you're forced to do it. And it's your only option, as Elio learned. But also, he was locked in with Penske, and Penske basically created a sports car program for Montoya and Elio to keep them around.
Well, yeah, Penske needed to, have a series that had the biggest car possible because he wanted to keep Montoya racing.
Well, yeah, it takes a lot to propel that kind of weight.
That's what I mean. And then he's like, well, and Elio's losing his touch, but still want to keep that great hair around. So.
Oh yeah, he does consistently have best hair in the paddock.
How big is that seat insert that Elio has to toss into that car when they change? Are they in the same car?
No, they drive different cars.
This is how much
I believe it's Dane. No, not Dane Cameron. No, it's I think it's Ricky Taylor that drives with Elio. It's either one of the two of them. I can't. I don't know. I don't watch enough IMSA.
Camaro boys or my.
Yeah, whoever. Someone. I can look it up.
Two of them.
Yeah, but the other one still races for his father.
I didn't think his father still had a team. Does he?
Wayne Taylor? Yeah, I'm 99% sure they won Daytona.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, and I don't care enough to.
Yeah, because Scott, here you go. Dixon joins WTR for Petit Le Mans.
Okay, yep, here we go. The Acura Team Penske number 6, driven by Juan Pablo Montoya and Dane Cameron. And then Simon Pagenaud also fills in. And then the number 7 car is driven by Ricky Taylor and Elio Castroneves. And then on the long races, Alexander Rossi fills the 3rd seat. I think Frank's testing the delay in the Hot Mic app.
Yes, I am.
I don't know why he would care about how long it is.
I never have it up, to be honest with you. And I think Hot Mic should at least make a browser link extension, maybe, for computers, maybe.
Well,
But
I mean, the whole point is having it in an app. Why would you have it on a website? But at some point they will do that.
The audience.
Maybe.
Why would you limit the ways people can consume your content?
I have some
You
ideas.
might as well just go to YouTube and stream it.
I got a few ideas
Yeah, I
about
was
why they
thinking
would
about
do
it,
it that way.
yeah. Gam says, what if Scott goes to Penske or Penske takes Scott? I don't. I think Penske would have to. I don't think there's not enough money in the. It would never. Yeah, no. Dixon will retire with Chip. Yeah. I mean, and I don't want to see Will Power and Scott Dixon on the same team anyway. Okay, does Will Power have the same? Let's call it. What is that word? It's like pizzazz or carte blanche. There we go. Scott Dixon's got the Chip Ganassi carte blanche, right? Like he's pretty much there till he's done,
Yeah.
right?
He's got his
Does-
golden ticket, the Ganassi golden ticket.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a Penske golden ticket. And about the only person I can imagine that has a Penske golden ticket is Tim Cindric. And that's because he's Tim Cindric.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So
Well,
I don't believe there is any such thing as a Penske golden ticket. It's every year you are evaluated on your performance. Just like in most companies, you have your annual performance review. And that determines where you go from there. Because that's the kind of organization Penske is. They're a very professional, very well-ran organization. And they treat their drivers like they do every other employee. Nobody has any guarantees around there. You have to earn everything. If you don't perform, then something will happen. You're either gone or, at best, you're relegated to sports cars.
Well, at worst, depending how you look at it.
Yeah, well, I would consider that at best, because if it came down to racing sports cars and not racing at all, I'm gonna go hang out with sports cars. I'm gonna go flash my headlights at people a lot.
Because you still get to race some pretty good tracks. You still get to race it.
In all reality, the speed difference isn't that big. Yeah, it's noticeable, but the prototypes, the DPIs to an Indy car aren't that bad. And in fact, in some areas, they're somewhat faster.
I mean, what, turning? Because sure, okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very small area, but you're not going to get the top speed of an Indy car.
No, I mean, but that's why F1's faster on road and street courses, because they're meant to.
They're meant for that.
Lateral G's at 200.
Right, but I mean, it's not that much of a difference between. I mean, I've talked to drivers who go back and forth between the open wheels and sports cars, and they say it's no thing.
I mean, it's almost the entire series at this point, along with Indy Lights.
Yeah,
it's Indy Lights and IndyCar, except for Will Power. Has Will ever done an IMSA race? I don't think so.
No, Will's told me he actually very much enjoys his winters off.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So, like I said, it's not for everybody. Not every driver is that way. But
that's fine. But I mean, I just love how when IMSA needs extra drivers for their cars, where do they go? I mean, the Daytona, on average, one NASCAR driver.
And it's a forced thing, because NASCAR owns IMSA. They want to cross promote, and it's not like these NASCAR guys don't have road course experience. These guys, just about all of them, race go-karts.
Race talent. It's
not just that, but they know road courses. A lot of them race go-karts. The midgets and stuff, there's road courses for midgets and that kind of stuff.
The NASCAR races at Watkins Glen. I don't want to hear it.
Well, they race at a very watered down version of Watkins. But yes, there is some of that
Well, they have
experience
to
here.
because it's too many turns for them. They start to get confused.
But it is also general race talent. Like you really can see if these NASCAR guys are truly racing talented when they go out and do something like the Rolex. Because I mean, for all we know, they go into the bus stop and in their mind there's no such thing as slowing down. And
Right.
so, but to be able to see them go through the infield and do all the turns and adapt to a different car, to see a NASCAR guy come off the shelf after their relatively short off season compared to IndyCar, but to come off the end of their off season, hop into a car that they've never really driven before and do something that they don't normally do, and when they succeed, I actually applaud that and I kind of root for that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is NASCAR people, they're still race car drivers. All these, I can almost guarantee you, if possible, almost every single NASCAR driver watches IndyCar, and the IndyCar guys watch NASCAR. They watch as much of it as they can. They all support each other. They all root for each other. It's one big brotherhood. But I mean, just because one series only turns left all but once or twice a year, now 3 times, woo! And the other series are more diverse. It's still, they're all still racers at heart, and we all are. We all love going fast. Just some people like more complex circles, because in the end, every racetrack is a circle. But some are more elaborate than others.
Yeah, I mean, what as far as
Like road courses are just elaborate circles.
well, yeah, I mean, it's not. Of course, every track is an elaborate circle. You.
Yeah, but
I mean,
unless it's
other
an
than drag racing, I guess.
ovals, ovals are actual circles. Oh,
No,
it's semantics.
It's oval, not circle.
I mean, Missy and I have been on here for like an hour and a half now, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I was a half hour late. Yep.
Just sitting in the
yeah.
driveway.
Yeah, no. Work sucked. Anyway, couldn't walk 5 feet without. Never mind. No one talk about. Anyway, so all right. So I guess I don't want to talk sports car anymore. But what I do want to talk about, I don't know where Missy went. Oh, she probably had to go. Yeah, that's right. You know, all of a sudden you have to kind of like that. That happens a lot when you're, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Now that Missy's not here, so we're gonna, we're gonna have a drawing for who's gonna be the stepfather.
Stepfather? You mean like Godfather?
Godfather and godmother to
I
our
mean,
kid. Yeah.
I guess if you don't want to be the father, I guess I'm sure we can find someone that would marry Missy and become the stepfather.
I mean,
if you want to divorce her after the kid's born, yeah. But I'm sure if you wanted to do like a Twitter poll or something for who was going to be the godparents, I'm sure Missy would love that.
Yeah, right. Now what's that whole thing about? Like if me and her are killed in like a car crash or something, you take care of the kids. Is that what it is? Whole godparent thing?
No, I mean it's more of a religious thing.
Like
so, by default, I mean you're probably gonna want a will, last will and testament once you have a child, in case something like that were to happen, God forbid. You lay out your plan.
Yeah. Will. I thought Will did
very
well.
Yeah. Will. Yeah. I mean, no, he didn't. Will was a lapse down.
Hi, Missy. You okay?
I'm fine.
All right.
Will was a lap down.
how like
Yeah, you were talking about me. I'm not
We're
that
talking
stupid.
about we're talking about wills of all
Yeah, I'm
different
sure you
kinds.
were.
no we were yeah.
And he was only a lap down.
Yes he was,
Yes, he was.
but hey, he at least he finished top 20.
Yeah, well, I mean, when only let's see here, 10 cars finish on the lead lap, and big shout out to Tony Kanaan finishing in top 10.
I know that was a big one for him, right? He hasn't finished
Yeah,
top 10.
there was some pretty good names up there in that top 10 that were on the lead lap. Guys like Connor Daly, Zach Veach, Tony Kanaan, Oliver Askew.
Also, I think Alagasco was a big one. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
so
give it
freaking
to the
proud of
Rook.
him, man.
Give it to the Rook for the new team. Well, not really new team, but yeah, new team.
I was proud of him though. I was proud of Ollie, man. Like it's just Ollie is that like just that like I mean he has done so much so
Oh, hello,
quietly.
Matt. Sorry, Frank. He's got a new visitor here.
Yeah, it's Matt P is I don't want to say his last name, but he did leave a great question on Twitter today.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
And he we got to talking.
Complainer Frank this morning.
What?
Nothing. Frank's complaint on the way to drive me to work this morning.
Which was?
You guys didn't let me finish what I wanted to talk about Ferrari last week.
And
you cut me off.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you did because it left wide open for Matt to ask me the questions that I was gonna lay down for you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because you guys thought that I was bringing some month-old story like, hey, Ferrari might show up at Indy, guys.
Yeah, and then suddenly if this whole Ferrari
9-to-5ers who sit at desks, you accountant and nurse over here.
Whoa! You can back up with that.
I know you sit at a desk and you stare at the wall. You've told me this.
I do not stare at a wall.
No, she
I'm
stares
so
at a
glad I
window
can
now.
stare at the wall,
They
so I
gave
can
her a
talk
window.
to my office. Yep. So just shut it. So, I actually have to work with my hands and stuff. You two counting money all day. Well, one of you's.
Yeah.
The other one makes me it, and the other one counts it.
You do what you're good at.
That's right. She's good at making me money.
But yeah, so I mean, like if this whole Ferrari,
I'm street. I'm kidding. Get on the corner.
Yeah.
No, but thanks for joining, Matt. But no, Matt is
the floor is yours then, Frank.
But
Yeah.
Matt, no, we got talking, and Matt is a converted IndyCar fan as of like past year or so, and he came from NASCAR. Go figure. He came from that series. Yeah, I don't want to say what we call it at this moment in time, but it used to be funny until people got all snowflaked up and everything. Anyway, yeah, moving on. I'm just gonna move on to that. Anyway, yeah, just go back and listen to some shows, man. You'll have. So this is what he asked. Okay, and then you'll understand why I was like, but I wanted to, but oh, whatever. All right.
You guys didn't let me finish. So I heard this.
I don't talk like that. Okay. I don't whine. I don't whine. I don't.
He
pout.
whined. He whined this morning, Jared.
Oh.
Jared, does that even sound like me?
Trust me, Jared. He whined this morning.
What?
You guys didn't let me finish last week.
Jared, what is she?
Take that out! That's vulgar!
Yeah. That's all I
No,
got.
wrong one.
No.
What is she?
Um.
On Chip.
No, I got nothing. The button broke.
Garbage. You big piece of garbage.
The button broke.
That better not be used.
But no,
What's
I
that?
mean there was a So
My stature right now should not be called a piece of garbage.
Jared, did you legit not hit the right one on purpose?
no, I mean the buttons broken. And
Yeah, is it?
yeah,
Is it?
Yeah, the
Is it?
button
Okay.
broke.
So anyway, moving along.
Yeah.
Moving
yeah.
on. Would you like me to read his question in your voice or mine, Miss?
You can read it in yours.
Oh, so, oh, God, ew.
Well, he wasn't whining.
I feel
You're
you-
the whiner.
I don't
So
whine.
you don't have to whine in the question.
I don't whine. All right. I told you I'm allergic to alcohol. I don't whine. Ooh. Oh, car crash. We need a car. We need to. Jared, you need to get up on that car crash. Oh, good God. Anyway, all right. So, shut up, Frank. And see, look what you made me do.
You can crash and burn just fine on your own.
Just read the question, Frank.
All right. So on your latest episode, I heard about Ferrari possibly coming to IndyCar, and I'm adding this in until Missy and Jared told me to shut up. However,
Mhm.
I'm wondering is how it'll work with engines. Being that IndyCar uses Chevys and Hondas, will they allow Ferrari to use their own engines? That's one question. Will Ferrari engines be added to the engine list with Chevy and Honda as the third manufacturer? Pretty much. That's what he's asking. That's number two. Or will Ferrari have to use Chevys or Hondas? The answer to that is no. Okay, so this is what is going on so far. 2022. We're going to the hybrid 2.2 liter, right?
No, currently 2.2.
Right.
They're
we're
they're
going to
2.2 liter 6-cylinder twin turbos. It's going to go to
Right.
2.4 liters, still twin turbos, but all the engines are going to be required to go through a single source hybrid unit. So every car is going to have the same hybrid unit, but will have different engines. And Chevy and Honda have actually come out and publicly said they would love to have a third engine manufacturer because it actually
Right.
takes the stress off them. They don't have to supply as much. So
And
they
guess what
want
kind
that
of an
third.
engine Ferrari manufactures?
But yes, Ferrari can make their own engine. They just have to follow the formula.
They already have a 2.4 twin turbo engine that they produce.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard for them. You just
It's
have to
almost
get it
like-
to fit in
it's
the
almost
car.
like- I'm just saying, it's almost like Jay Fry and Mark Miles have talked to. I'm not even going to attempt to say the guy's name, but it comes down to
Gunther.
no, the guy above him,
Ah.
the guy with the really round glasses.
Enzo?
No, he's dead. He'd be like 130.
Ghost of Enzo?
Anyway, moving on. So the guy that's in charge of everything. So my point being is, it came out of left field about the new engine change and everything and all that good stuff, right? Now, Ferrari doesn't want to lay anyone off. They basically operate within a $400 million umbrella. And guess what? Their main sponsorship still to this day is Philip Morris, right? Yes, the tobacco company. They can't advertise it, obviously, but Philip Morris still gives them over what F1 gave them each year, which was about around 175 million each year to run. All right. That they already fired Vettel. They already let go of Vettel because they couldn't afford him. So they know F1 is dropping down to 140-ish million. So they're losing about 40 million right there, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to happen in 2022.
Yeah. Sounds like bonus content. But
I'm just saying it's lining up parts.
just about every F1 team is going to have
lining
this
up.
excess
Yeah, I know,
budget.
but for my point being is Ferrari has in the past used IndyCar as almost like if you don't do this, we'll go here, right? They've done that once before back in the late 80s.
Yeah, using IndyCar as leverage against F1. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using it as leverage. It's probably a half serious, half leverage idea that Ferrari has. And Mercedes could do the exact same thing. They have even more money that they will have to spread around and do whatever else with.
They
It's
should bring
all
Charles
these
Leclerc
teams.
with them.
Yeah, but my point being is Ferrari, Scuderia wants to, wants to keep that money, the Philip Morris money. So if they got to cut back, Philip Morris is not going to pick up the slack. Philip Morris is not going to all of a sudden pay them $40 million more dollars.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying Philip Morris takes up that big chunk in between 175 and 400 because they still have Shell and Tag Heuer and all those other little, sponsorships that they have. My point being is, excuse me, they have, I mean, how much money would they be able to pocket by still taking as much in as they want to from Philip Morris? Come over to IndyCar, right? Uh, you know, develop a new engine that you put into your road cars. So you're one of the Chevy and Honda. I mean, like, how much are they really benefiting from IndyCars engine? What Chevy comes with a 2.2 liter twin turbo? I don't think
I mean, Ferrari
zero.
did dabble in IndyCar for a little bit. They
Like,
sponsored
we
what's
don't.
his name? Ed Jones. Scuderia. Oh wait, is that Scuderia Corso? That's same, right? They're the same, right?
It's a very, sort of, kind of, but sort of no, but sort of but sort of no, but sort of but sort of no. Like, yes, but no. I want to say that
I got it.
that Scuderia Corsia, Scuderia Ferrari, and I don't know what a Scuderia is, so I can't tell you that. I'd have to research that.
Was
But
it like Red Bull and Toro Rosso?
Toro Rosso Red Bull and Red Bull.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly I have no idea. But my point being is this: it just F1 is taking that money away. They're not giving it. They're not just going to give it to Ferrari. They're taking away from everybody. It's not there to give.
Yeah.
So F1, Ferrari will be here in 2022. That's all I'm saying. And look, Jared, it is a very broad question at this point in time for somebody to go to Mark Miles and ask him, you think Ferrari will be here in 2022? Now, if it wasn't even, talked about, or if it wasn't even a thing, he'd just say no. Instead, his exact words were no comment, which means yes.
Yeah.
I mean, in motorsport world, in motorsport lingo, whatever, no comment means yes. And if you hear it, during the season, they're talking to a team owner and they ask them plans for the future. Whatever they say, it's the opposite. Case in point, Bourdais, Coin, Gateway last year. I mean, we're really happy with the team we got now. And then Bourdais gone. So, I mean, see what I mean? It's not what they say, it's what they do. Or it's what they don't say. Or it's how they say it. There's just there's just too many things that are lining up for Ferrari to, get together a IndyCar team and you see what I'm saying, to supplement the 40 million that they're pretty much going to be losing from F1. I'm not saying they're leaving F1. I'm just saying, like, McLaren with they're going to take them the McLaren approach, see what McLaren's doing next 2 years, and they're basically going to copy paste. And Ferrari, will also benefit because Ferrari loves selling their engines to other teams. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So there's our third engine
Well,
manufacturer.
they don't. The manufacturers don't sell engines; they lease engines. They're required.
What
I mean, the teams will go through multiple
money, money,
engines
money,
per
money,
season.
money.
Yeah.
Engine. Sell, lease, whatever. It's money, money, money. That's all it is. You know. My point being is it's not like Ferrari's very secretive with their engine. It's I mean, like half F1's racing them.
Right.
So
And it's not like Chevy and Honda aren't making money off of IndyCar. And
no,
I don't know that they're making a profit, but there
I
are
will.
revenues to be made from it, and as well as the research and development, because I've been told by the head of Chevy racing himself, Jim Campbell, that they have learned lessons from their IndyCar engine development that is directly translated into road production, because a lot of Chevy cars on the road nowadays are these small block turbocharged engines, and they've kind of perfected that kind of formula in IndyCar.
hmm Yeah, a little package, you get a lot out of it
Yeah.
for a long
My
time.
cars,
That's what they're going for.
my little Chevy
So
Cruze, 1.4 liter turbocharged. That thing's got a little
yeah,
kick to it.
yeah. Not only that, and it's getting like what 35 miles a gallon.
Yeah, and manual transmission too, so it's a lot more fun.
There you go. Not that I'd go buy one, but still.
Right.
My point being is, there's just too many things that are happening that, and then there's too many things that's been said by Ferrari. Mark Miles saying no comment and just instead of just saying no at all, and not for nothing, but IndyCar is about the only racing series pretty much on the planet that has gone up in the last decade and not down. I mean, F1 is just crashing and burning. NASCAR, I mean, they're just doing it to themselves. Drag racing, it's always been niche and it always will be.
Yeah, drag racing is very niche, but I enjoy drag racing.
I'm not
It's
saying
it's a
I
lot more
don't.
fun to watch in person
Oh yeah,
than it
it's
is
like
on TV. It's
I would say drag racing is a lot more fun to feel than watch.
yes. Oh yeah.
I know those top fuel dragsters are, but you know what? I mean, they went from a eighth quarter mile to an eighth mile. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, it's still kind of crazy watching a car do an eighth mile in 3.5 seconds. It's kind of insane. But and how John Force is still doing it. I mean, the years and years of meth use. You think would have caught up with him by now. But I think it's really is methanol. I think that the guy takes shots of methanol every day. I swear. Shafts Graham.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
but
and to be honest, so we have now that Frank is starting to make a point, it's a good time to end the show. Just kidding.
but do I have a good point now? And I would like to say Roger Penske. Now, Little Al's second Indy 500 win was with Penske in what car?
Was it?
Marlboro.
Yeah, Marlboro Team Penske.
Philip Morris is Marlboro. Philip Morris is still Ferrari's main sponsor. Penske was on the board of directors till 2009.
Yeah.
However, Penske didn't leave on a bad note. Penske, I forget the guy's name. I heard it. I wouldn't be able to even say it if I read it. But Penske has a guy that works for Penske who's still on the board of directors for Philip Morris. So there's that big connection, right? So you got Philip Morris, you got Ferrari, you got Roger Penske, and a lot of money, and a whole lot of yes, Ferrari's going to be here in 2 years, pretty much. There's just too many things that are connecting. And you know what? About the oval thing, I mean, I'm pretty sure Penske still owns a NASCAR team or two, don't he? Right? Doesn't Penske have NASCAR teams?
Yes, Penske
Yeah.
has a NASCAR team. So does Ganassi.
Right. However, and who owns IMS? Roger
Penske.
Penske. Who owns the series? Roger Penske.
Well, the Speedway owns the series, and the Speedway is owned by Roger.
Okay,
even
so
even
who
even
owns the series?
beforehand,
Roger Penske.
Tony Hallman and company.
Whatever. My point. No. Well, yeah. Okay, fine. But my point being is this. You know, we're going to get. I think we're going to get Michigan back on the schedule very soon because Penske's got a lot of. I mean, we've been, IndyCar's been shut out of all the ovals we want back, right? Chicagoland, Michigan, name some others that, I mean, Atlanta.
Milwaukee.
No,
No.
that's not owned by NASCAR. I mean, wasn't Richmond owned by NASCAR? And we just got in there this year. We were supposed to anyway. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't believe
wasn't
Richmond's an ISC track.
I mean, I don't know which ones are because I'm not in that world, so I don't pay attention. But
How about the talks about going to the mean streets of Nashville?
Yes,
Ooh.
that was a breaking story today. Adam Stern reporting that there are advanced negotiations between IndyCar and the city of Nashville. Last time there were talks was 2017 about bringing a race to the streets of Nashville.
Forgive me, IndyCar, if I don't believe you.
Why, Miss?
She told me Boston. We're gonna have a race in the middle of Boston too.
Well,
I ain't never know.
South
I ain't got no cars in my backyard. Not my backyard.
The mean streets of Boston. Dun, dun, dun,
Boston.
dun, 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 dun.
I'll pass on Boston.
Just have a little bit of dignity.
Nashville would be good though because that is a totally untapped market. I know you want the the Northeast.
I want Baltimore back, but that track was terrible. But it was close. How about the mean streets of Philly, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you can avoid the gunshots.
I mean, if we can have the Mummers Parade, we can have IndyCar. Nobody knows what the Mummers Parade is if you don't live here, so it's fine. It's a bunch of guys dressed in stuff playing banjos in the dead of cold, and I'm just like, these guys are nuts. Oh yeah, they're really drunk, so it's okay.
I mean, everybody always talks about wanting Cleveland to come back, and Cleveland would be cool.
I've never heard that once. Never heard that once.
Shay.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm like Shay. Our great friend Shay Hayes, and I believe she would enjoy the return of.
Mm-hmm.
Where's she from?
Cleveland. At least it's not
Atlantic
Detroit.
City, Atlantic City race. That's what I'm saying. Hey, we raced in Vegas once. Next AC.
I don't know if I want to go back to Vegas. Not after last time.
The desert sucks. Anyway, point being is, I just think, like this, like it's so written on the wall that IndyCar is not only here to stay for a while. It's on its way up, and it's just going to get better and better, year by year because, Road to Indy is the strongest feeder series I've ever seen for any series, period. F2, F3, get out of here.
Well, because the Road to Indy has a guaranteed path to advancement. You win the series, you're guaranteed a ride in the next level next year.
Feeder series to a series has a guaranteed ride to the series for the feeder series of the series? What?
I know, it's a crazy concept.
Exactly. Like, wow. Like, that's insane. And people spend money to do this kind of stuff? Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Well, kind of related. Have you had a chance to try out the new USF 2000 and Pro Mazda cars on iRacing? Or
Bought
Indy
'em
Pro.
already.
Indy Pro, I mean. Whoops.
Yeah, yep, I bought them.
I got them too, and they are a lot of fun to drive.
I haven't had a chance to drive anything yet. I tried today, and there was a big old download today. So I was like, well, so much for that.
But yeah, Greg here mentioned Roger Penske's idea for Indy Lights, which has been floated multiple times, requiring IndyCar teams to carry at least one Indy Lights car. Roger seems to be on board with it, and I am
Coyne
too.
will never be able to
I
do
know
it.
Dale Coyne will never go for it because
Dank
he's
won't
Dale
go for
Coyne.
it.
But if you, it's
Dank
tied
won't
into
go for it.
Leader Circle.
Coyne
It's going to
won't
get
go
tied into
for it.
Leader Circle.
What's that?
It will be tied into Leader Circle, which is how all the teams get paid out by the series for being a full-time entry, is through the Leader Circle program. And if you tie the Leader Circle funds towards Indy Lights, and you can make the Indy Lights car affordable enough, bring down the cost of it by about $50,000, and the teams can better afford it. That car is too expensive. The
No,
car
it's
is within 50. The base tub of the Indy Lights car is within
replaced
50
it.
grand of the Indy car. Even the IL-15.
Is
The
it
IL-15
really?
Yes, the IL-15, the base chassis without the engine is just over $200,000, and the Indy car is about $250,000. It's not that much different, and that was the issue.
Put one next to the other; they don't look that much different
I
to begin
know,
with.
but still,
And
it's
you
the
and
Lights
I
car is
both
too
know that
expensive.
all they gotta do is type on a computer, and they'll both go just as fast as each other.
I know. That's why the Lights car, while cool and does prepare you for IndyCar, is still too expensive. They have to find a way to bring the cost down. 50 grand.
Now,
Problem is,
bring the cost down. Don't put it on the major teams of the series. Put it on Pelfrey and Cape over in USF 2000 Indy Pro that they have to have an Indy Lights team, or they don't get any of them. How about that?
Well, then you're going to start losing USF teams and Indy
Yes,
Pro
you will.
teams. But you know who could really help possibly carry the burden of the cost of the Indy Lights car? The manufacturer, who is right down the street from Indy.
Who, Dallara?
Yeah. Dallara made the IL-15.
Well, I mean, don't they give incentives or something? Or there's got to be a package discount or of some sort. Wait. Dallara, Dallara straight up built a factory down the street just to get, just so they could supply the series with Dallara chassis. What more do you want them to do?
I know.
They'd be even more if they had to ship them from Italy.
Oh, I know. It absolutely be more expensive, but I don't know if there was enough due diligence done in the bidding process for the new Indy Lights chassis, or if there just wasn't
Would you rather
any.
went Swift?
Maybe there just wasn't enough competition for.
Oh, right. A bunch of Delta Wings out there would have been.
Oh, I miss a Delta Wing.
Don't forget, dude. It was W12, the Swift, and Delta Wing.
I know it is what it is. It's just I think it's just too expensive.
I really did like that Swift though, man. That super speedway Swift car, man. Oh, what's that?
The best car that never really got a fair shake was the Panos DP01.
Just shut up.
Oh, dude, that Panos. Ooh.
Oh, okay. The DP01.
Yeah, at the very, very end of Champ Car, that new car that they built for Champ Car that never really happened, that car.
Champ Car didn't deserve it.
I know they didn't. That car was very advanced. The Indy car, the DW12, and all this, it took a lot.
I was going to say
from that model. The IR-18, like when they did the Universal Aero kits, took a lot from that design where you generate the vast majority of your downforce from the underside of the car. Because that's all that DP01 was. Thing sat about this far off the ground and generated some of the most ridiculous underside downforce you can produce on a car.
Yeah, but you can't race behind it. the turbulence is insane.
Yeah, like Josh here says, Will Power won the first and only race in the DP01.
Of course he did.
Yep. Where Surfer's Paradise,
Yep.
his hometown, and that's pole number whatever asterisk. That's where the asterisk comes from for his poles.
Yeah.
Yeah, pole to win, willpower. It was just an exhibition, though. The beginning of greatness. IndyCar was back, baby. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy.
Yes, I was, and I still admit though that the high of having it back after 9 months kind of elevated what
9
made an
months.
average race better than what it was.
Did you say 9 months or like a
9
decade?
months.
Or
If
you mean
9
just
months felt like a decade.
Oh, you meant just last weekend.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
waiting 9 months for that race, that hype and the build up to it made the race seem better than it was. An average race felt a little bit better because it was the first we had after 9 months.
Okay, so would you say that if the race we watched with that ridiculous black whatever that good old Eddie Gossage and his track that sucks that weeps and leaks and whatever. I mean,
Weeps.
And
I still didn't forget that we had a rain out when it wasn't raining. It rained 18 hours earlier, and the race was called for rain. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But also, Josh has to correct you here. Will won at Vegas and Long Beach. Vegas 2007, Long Beach 2008. He never won Surfers. He got poles there. Never won.
I thought the exhibition was the Surfers.
Yeah, it was an exhibition. It wasn't a real race. Doesn't count.
Farmer, where are you? You coming on next week, Josh? You coming on with Bobo? Oh wait, we don't normally announce guests before we have them, right? It's bad luck to do that because then you look foolish if they don't show up.
Yeah, because then he's gonna listen to this and be like, "Oh well, now that Frank just committed to me coming on, now I'm not gonna come on."
It's just bad luck. It's something we've always done for the last 5 years or so. Just never announce who you're gonna have on. You announce who you had on. So
Ryan Briscoe won the 2008 exhibition race.
I was going to wear Ryan Briscoe's shirt for the show, actually. I still say Ryan Briscoe was like Ryan Briscoe deserves to be back in IndyCar. And let's see. And I'll still never forgive Tristan Vautier. Still never forgive him for screwing up my interview with Ryan Briscoe when I finally got it at Road Atlanta 4 or 5 years ago, whenever that was. See, because I was interviewing Ryan Briscoe, and Tristan is standing like 5 feet behind Ryan, making all these dumb faces at me, and he totally screwed me up. And I don't even know what I said to Ryan Briscoe, but he had to correct me on
You
something.
congratulated him on his win at Le Mans, and it was the other Corvette car that won.
Oh yeah, Ryan
Because
Briscoe
they crashed out.
That's right. Ryan Briscoe didn't get to race a single lap there.
And of course, being the Corvette fan that I am, just sat there and watched Frank and was like,
Yep.
It was Tristan's fault. It was, I mean, he was sitting there behind, giving me the finger and stick. I mean, how am I supposed to concentrate with Tristan Vautier flipping me off as I'm doing an interview with Ryan Briscoe?
So to Missy, it was like. Slow motion car crash.
Mess you up. Like I tried to tackle him to the ground.
yeah, he embarrassed me.
Tristan's a wiry
In
fellow.
front of a Corvette
you
driver.
cannot get him down to the
Just
ground.
embarrassed.
Well,
Anyway.
we'll let's look through here to chat, and then we'll wrap it up because we're at about an hour and a half right now.
Yeah, and just want to thank everybody for jumping on the hot mic and watching us.
Yeah, Matt here. Anyone else follow Formula E or Formula One? Formula E is good. I like Formula E. I don't really follow it that closely, but I do enjoy watching the races. They're actually pretty cool. And to see the technology every year get better and better is awesome. Formula One,
But now that Formula E can start and finish a race with the same freaking car,
exactly. Now you
now
actually got
they're
it real.
slightly more legit to me.
Well, it's like I said, it's the evolution of the technology. Starting 2014, every year the technology has gotten better, which
I mean,
is
think about
awesome.
I mean, we had a Model T once, right? And now look what we got.
Yeah, we
right?
used to have riding mechanics.
Dude, you know what computers used to be back in the day? Them. Women. That's right. That's right. History.
Frank deserved that. But yep.
What?
Oh,
Happening.
right here
He was
at the end, Trent shows up. It's a shame, Trent. We'll have you on the show here in a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, definitely. Always open to have anybody come on.
Oh,
never
yeah.
say no. Never say no to anybody.
Well, and
That's all.
Trent's starting his own podcast, so it'll.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yep.
IndyCar?
Yeah, he's covering IndyCar and all that good stuff. So we'll have him on. He can plug his thing and get his name
Well,
out there.
he's got to ask first.
Oh well.
He's got to ask the Godfather and then
Oh.
mother
The
of
Godfather.
Well.
I'm kidding.
My God.
Well, we're the longest running weekly IndyCar podcast, on iTunes. What's up?
Yeah.
Well, just saying. Wait. Josh, text me something. Hold on.
And I am looking here at Hot Mike.
Wait.
Saturday.
Here's the projected Philly Champ Car track that never happened. Wait, this was real? No.
Well,
Yeah.
looks like Saturday here.
No kidding.
ESPN2 is broadcasting, I think, the iRacing 24 Hours of Le Mans that they're doing.
I'm not
So,
watching. My boys are not involved.
yeah, I know.
There's no point in watching it.
I know, but I will probably be here on Hot Mic because since my live PD was ripped out from under me, I have to find other events to cover. And so I guess I will cover some sim.
And when is this?
Le Mans Saturday at 3 p.m. Which means then I have to update my iRacing streaming stuff. Bring that back. Or maybe I'll just take the afternoon off and say I just don't care. Ooh, they got fishing. Maybe I'll just do fishing. I should Hot Mic fishing.
I'm not doing anything at the moment. My life changes like that, but
Ooh, I'll do
Josh,
squawk on.
Josh sent me a racing in the streets of Champ Car's proposal to run in Philly from the Art Museum to Logan Square and back. That would have been an awful race, by the way. Oh, I mean, the Art Museum's all right. Rocky like dun, 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 dun. We have a statue of a guy that doesn't even exist. That's a statue that needs to be torn down. Is Sylvester Stallone acting like a boxer? Just saying, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about all we got for this week. We'll definitely be back next week.
Like always.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have Bobo on the show.
If IndyCar race, if IndyCar raced in Jersey, that'd be freaking awesome. I don't know where though.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey Motorsport Park is just not big enough.
No, it's not.
There's no place to sit to watch anything. It's too flat.
I think there's plenty of places.
No, there's not.
It's all around that track. I just don't think there's not enough runoff to.
That too. It's too flat. I mean, and plus it's a terrible track anyway. I mean, there's no passing anywhere. It's too narrow.
There's got to be somewhere in Jersey.
It doesn't exist.
I'm sure it exists.
Go out and build it.
I'm gonna make my own racetrack here in Jersey.
Hey, I mean,
I'll come up with my own road course.
There used to be one in Trenton. Yeah. Go revitalize Trenton. Shape it like a kidney bean, and hope people come to make a right-hand turn on an oval. I don't know. It was a weird thing, and it was dirt, wasn't it? Was it dirt? I think it was made out of dirt. It was never paved, right? Was it ever paved? I don't think so. I think it was torn down before they paved it, or got a chance to. I'm making all this up.
Of course you are. You always make stuff up.
From just sheer nothingness. I knew nothing about the track. I don't care. All I know is turn 2 is from Trenton. Or is it turn 3? Turn 3. Turn 3 is Trenton, right? God, I suck.
Yeah.
It's one of the turns.
Missy, will you please take us out? I'm dying over here. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
I'm enjoying it. And on that note, you know that I know that Frank still knows nothing. And Jared, well, you know, he knows more than Frank, so it's all good. You know?
Yep.